Mushoku Tensei, one of the best, if not greatest, anime of all time. At least, in my opinion. And if you think differently, then that's okay, because it's okay to be wrong. But before you hunt me down and burn me to a stake, let me first explain why this is one of the best animes out of all the isekais, fantasies in general, and why its storytelling is top notch. For the anime watchers, I will not be discussing any spoilers, only additional details that have been left out in the anime but is in the light novels. Nonetheless, what exactly makes Mushoku Tensei as great as it is, at least for me? Mushoku Tensei's world building is just on another level because unlike most animes out there, the story's world is multi-layered, as in unlike other animes like the standard isekai nowadays that typically has one or three towns, all of which having a very generic circular design. Mushoku Tensei has a more in-depth take to this, to the point that it takes in factors such as the environment, weather, culture, religion, and even language, wherein the author went so far in depth that Mushoku Tensei has its own language, like the human tongue, beast tongue, demon god tongue, all having their different letters, grammar, and pronunciation. And that's not all surprisingly, for the author also made a surprisingly detailed world map that contains all the kingdoms, towns, and land that make up the Mushoku Tensei world. Moreover, Mushoku Tensei also has a very detailed history where it's obvious that the world wasn't just made for the purpose of the MC and the development of the plot. There was wars between races, legends or heroes such as the seven great powers. Some still live while others have passed on and have been replaced. Other worlds beyond the world of Mushoku Tensei that's now destroyed, like the world or planet of the dragons that was destroyed because of inner conflict. And that is just some of the details that I could remember. For just the amount of thought and depth put into this series is truly astonishing. And as a writer myself, although hobbyist writer to be particular, I understand the dedication that is needed for someone to put this much detail in a story such as Mushoku Tensei. For I'm willing to bet that some parts of the Mushoku Tensei world probably took days, weeks, and probably even months to properly develop. Magic system is also another notable aspect of Mushoku Tensei because it's not as simple as a character imagining something and it coming to life. It is much more complex where there's a system where someone either has to chant a magic spell, cast it through feeling and knowledge of the scientific aspects of the element to be cast, or a magic circle that's made with specific materials attributed to that particular spell. And unlike other OP main protagonists of isekais, Rudius, the show's MC, doesn't get his magic because it's merely bestowed upon him by some god, for he developed his magical capabilities through reading books that discuss this world's magic and the application of the scientific knowledge that he had from his past life. An example of this is the creation of steam, thus creating a smoke bomb effect through the casting of both fire and water magic. However, this does create limitations on Rudy's capabilities, for he is unable to cast healing magic without an incantation because unlike water and fire, he did not have much medical knowledge from his past life, therefore making him unable to cast healing magic silently. What's more is that elemental spells aren't the only thing that's possible on Mushoku Tensei. Things such as teleportation and summoning magic that have the ability to summon things not only from Earth, but also from other worlds beyond ours is also within the realms of possibilities in the world of Mushoku Tensei. Rudius was and still kinda is a lowlife and a sad excuse of a human being, to the point that even I cannot make a reasonable excuse for how he acts at times. But despite that, he still tries to change himself for the better. He's not a character with perfect morals, he's someone who's deeply flawed. He doesn't aspire to be a light for justice in that world, only to relive a better life than what he had from before, to be happy. And the plot complements the story so well, where the author isn't afraid to change the course of the story, where one day Rudius could be working up to some goal of his, then suddenly the story comes to a turning point, and this goal is diverted drastically, and some characters may be introduced and some may go away indefinitely. And that's what makes Mushoku Tensei so great, for it isn't afraid to have drastic changes to the plot. It's a slow burning story about a flawed person trying to start anew, which is why I love it so much, and why I recommend for you to watch it if you still have not. So yeah, that's basically it. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't. Consider subscribing, and bye. Roxy's best waifu, by the way.
Knocks and box, fox and socks, knocks on fox and socks and box, socks on knocks and knocks and box, box and socks on box and knocks.